Jain friends, myself Sachin Jain, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. In today's lecture, we will discuss the topic event handling in Java. So for today's lecture, these are the table of content or outlines of the lecture. Firstly, we will discuss the event handling, then event handling mechanism. What is event source and event listener, event class hierarchy, and we will discuss one example of action event. So what is event handling? Event handling is a fundamental to Java programming because it is integral to creation of applet and other type of GUI based programs. It is supported by number of packages including java.util package, java.awt package, and java.awt.event package. So when we make a GUI based program, at that time we need event handling mechanism, and Java provides by default or predefined mechanism for handling such events. Most events to which a program will respond are generated when user interact with the GUI based program. So when a user interact with GUI based application, at that time these events occur. There are several types of events including those generated by the mouse, keyboards, and various GUI based controls such as push buttons, scroll bar, checkbox, or other GUI based components. So there may be different kinds of events generated by different sources, either mouse, either keyboard, either checkbox, radio button, text box, or any other buttons or any other controls. And event handling mechanism is supported by, importantly, these three packages. And event handling mechanism is provided by Java by default. Now let's understand how event handling mechanism works. So firstly, event will be generated by some event source, and this source can be anything. It can be mouse, it can be keyboard, it can be checkbox, etc. And this event source will registered with a listener class. There is a class known as a event listener. So this source must be registered first with event listener. Then when an event will occur, at that time this event source will fire an event object. So this source will fire an event object, and this object will be sent from event source to event listener class. And this event listener class then react based on the types of the event. So what action need to perform, what should be done based on the type of event will be further declared by this event listener class. So in this way, this event handling mechanism works. So first there is a source. The source will register the listener, then it will fire an object, and this object will be passed to the event listener class. Then event listener class will perform some action on particular event. Right. So in this way, this mechanism works. Now let's understand what is event, what are the event sources, and what is event listener. So event is an object that describes a state change in the source, and it can be generated as a sequence or consequence of a person interacting with the element in a graphical user interface. Some of the activities that cause event to be generated are like pressing a button, it is an event. Entering a character via keyboard, it is also an event. Selecting an item from the list, it is also an event. And clicking the mouse is also an event. So there may be multiple sources of the event, and these activities will change the state in a source. So that's why we are saying it event. So what can be the sources? As I told you that event is generated by particular source, like button is pressed to the mouse and keyboard key is pressed to the keyboard. So event sources is an object that generates an event, and this occurs when internal state of that object change in some way. So there may be any way to change the state of the object, and source may generate more than one type of event. So there may be a possibility that a source generate multiple type of events. There is a possibility. A source must register first the listener in order for the listener to receive the notifications about a specific type of event. And the source should register first, as I told you in the previous slide, it should be registered with listener class about the event, and in this way the order of the in the order of the listener will react based on the ordering of the events. Now what is event listener? So event listener is an object that is notified when an event occur. It has two major requirements. First, it must have been registered with one or more sources to receive the notification about a specific type of events, and second is must implement the method to receive and process these notifications. So what action need to be performed will be done by event listener, and the method that receive and process the events are defined in a set of interfaces that is found inside this package. So a set of methods are defined inside various interfaces that are written inside the package name as java.awt.event package. Now, Let's summarize the type of event. So one type of event is action event. One type of event is action event, and the source of this action event can be button, list, menu item, text field. And the type of listener who will receive the notification of the event is known as action listener. So action is event directly goes to the action listener. Now, second type of category of events are component event. Component event, to the sources of the component can be any component, any GUI based component, and the listener corresponding to the components are component listener. So there is A is capital, L is capital. Here C is capital, L is capital. So all the listener class are case sensitive. Now next broad category of events are focus event. Again, the sources can be any component, any GUI based component, and the corresponding listener is focus listener. Similarly, item event. Item event sources are checkbox menu item, choices, list, and the listener corresponding to the item event is item listener. So as you can see that the type of event and the name of the listener almost same. Keyboard event, when key input is received from keyboard, then the type of event is known as key event, and the listener corresponding to this key event is key listener. Similarly, text event, there may be any text component, text area, text box, and the corresponding listener is text listener. Windows event, sources can be window and listener can be window listener. Mouse event, mouse related event, anything when mouse is pressed, left key, right key is pressed, and the listener corresponding to mouse is mouse listener. So this one is the summarized table of event sources and the listener corresponding listeners. Now understand what is the class hierarchy that is written inside this package java.awt, AWT abstract window toolkit. So AWT events are categorized broadly in 5 categories, and component event are further categorized into these 5 categories, like first action event, adjustment event, component event, item event, text event, and the corresponding further category of component event is container event, focus event, input event, paint event, window event, and input event is further categorized into 2, keyboard event and mouse event. So this hierarchy is present in the broad package is java.awt, and further elaborated class is java.awt.event. Now let's understand action event with this example. So this is the program for corresponding action event. Now firstly we will write a package java.awt. AWT stands for abstract window toolkit, right? And as I told you that there is a specific package that is required to handle the different kinds of events is java.awt.event. So this package will also be included in this program. And third important package, because we are going to make a GUI based application, so we are making it through applet, so we will add this package also, java.applet. Now for example, I'm making a button, then I will write an applet code like this, as I told you in the previous classes. Applet, then code, the compiled program button action dot class, width and height we can set the applet. So we will write applet code like this. Now I'm making a class, for example, I'm making a class button action. So because the action event will be now in this program, the action event will be generated by button. When we will click the button, then some event will occur, and then corresponding action will be taken. So the name is given button action. Now we are extending an applet. This applet is come from this package, and that is implements an interface. As I told you that these are the interfaces, right? So action listener will come from this. So I'm making a class button action who is extending an applet class, and applet class is implementing this action listener. Now first I'm taking a data type string, name is message, and just giving a blank message. Now taking a button class and giving three options: yes, no, maybe. Now I'm initializing this applet using this one. Yes, here I set the button value yes, no, here I set the button value no, and the third button who set undecided. So in this way we will create three buttons, and we will add these three buttons inside the applet. You can see here using calling this method add yes, add no, add maybe. Now these three buttons is created till this program. Now I need to take the action when I will press either yes, either no, either undecided. So action listener will be called based on the clicking of these three buttons. So if I am clicking the yes button, then I am adding a add action listener method here. If I am clicking no, then I am again doing the same thing. If I am clicking maybe button, so I am doing again same thing. So in this way action will be performed when these three buttons will be clicked. Now what action I am performing? So that action I will write inside a method name as public void action perform. So I can pass action event class object inside this action perform method. So action perform is a method that will perform the action corresponding to the events that is generated through these three buttons, right? So in this way action perform will work. So what action perform is doing? So the code written inside this method is a string. I'm taking a string str and I'm calling a get action command method through the object of this action event interface ae dot get action command, and if this str dot equals to yes, if I am clicking this yes button, then the message should be displayed, you pressed yes. I'm just displaying the message. If I'm clicking this no button, then this one string dot equals no, else if you pressed no button. If I'm not clicking these two buttons, yes and no, the message should be displayed as you pressed undecided, and this value may be repent. Now I'm calling this applet by defining the message size, this one. So I'm writing the code public void paint graphics g and g dot draw string message. You pressed undecided, you press no, you press yes. So in this way we write the action corresponding to the different events. So in this program, the event was handled by action event interface, and event is generated by these three buttons. And what action I perform? I write just the message that I want to display corresponding to the press button. Hope it is clear. Action event. There may be several different kinds of events as well, like adjustment event, component event, item event, right? So these type of events we will discuss in the next class. For today, we just complete this action event. Hope it is clear. Thank you all. Thank you.